The story of Purim takes place about 2,400 years ago under the Persian Empire, when Prime Minister Haman convinced King Ahasuerus to sign an order to annihilate the entire Jewish people in one day. And then through a miraculous turn of events, through Mordechai and Queen Esther, everything was turned upside down. Haman was hung and the Jewish people got this great salvation. There's a principle that everything that happens here on earth originates from the heavenly decree. And therefore, it was decreed in heaven that the Jewish people will get destroyed. And the Talmud asks the question, why? Why did we deserve to get destroyed? And the Talmud gives this puzzling answer. Because the Jewish people enjoyed the royal banquet of that wicked person, Ahasuerus. You see, Ahasuerus made a royal banquet. He invited all the Jews. And because we participated, we were liable to get killed. The question is, what's the big sin of coming to the banquet? And the Rebbe explained it wasn't a punishment, but rather it was a natural outcome of their behavior. You see, our survival, the Jewish people's survival for the past 4,000 years is miraculous, because according to all statistics, we shouldn't be around. All the persecutions and pogroms that we went through, we should not be around. And we exist only because God's supernatural protection. But when do we get God's supernatural protection? When we rely on God and we trust in God and we do God's will. But when we leave the domain of God and we begin to find security in other forces, then God doesn't protect us anymore. And that's what happened on Purim. When the Jewish people, when they participated in the royal banquet, not only participating, but they enjoyed it, and they considered it the greatest privilege of being accepted by King Ahasuerus and the whole culture, and that became the source of their safety and security, God said, okay, now you're not under my security. And when we rely on other forces, we then become open to natural political dangers, and that's what happened. The Jewish people almost got killed. But when Mordechai gathered the entire Jewish people upon the request of Esther for 3 days and 3 nights, and we prayed, fasted, and we did mitzvos, and we returned to God with our whole heart, that's when God began to protect us again, and that's when the great miracle of Purim happened, that everything was turned upside down. And the message is very clear. Although we are now in exile, and we are under authorities, so the message is that we have to understand that God and only God protects us and blesses us with this supernatural protection. And yes, we have to honor the authorities and we have to do everything within the laws of nature to get a blessing and get protected. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that God and only God protects us and gives us protection.